What is going on YouTube? We are back with another video. So we're back with my boy Alex. So if you guys watch the other videos, especially the gameplay videos, Alex is running the green-blue Zeong desk, the green and blue Zeong deck. And a lot of you guys actually asked for the deck profile on this. And Alex did win a store championship with this deck. He is going to Nats.
Of course.
Which is freaking sick. That's awesome. So I thought I'd bring you guys a deck profile. We'll get into his brain, talk about the deck a little bit, talk about his matchups, all that stuff. Now the store championship was a couple of weeks ago, so some stuff might be fuzzy, but we'll get into it. And yeah, so Alex, appreciate you.
Of course.
We'll go ahead and jump into this. And then if you guys also are new here, make sure you guys drop a like on the video, make sure to subscribe. We're also gonna be doing some gameplay videos after this deck profile that are gonna be separate videos. So if you guys wanna check those out, make sure you guys stick around. But with all that to the side, let's jump into the deck profile. So first and foremost, this is blue-green Zeong.
Yep.
And you won the store championship with it.
Yep, 6 rounds.
6 round store championship. Now, off the top of your head, do you remember what your matchups were?
Yep. So I had 2 purple whites, the Minerva package,
okay,
and 1 green white wing, 1 mirror blue green, 1 blurple, and then the finals was actually against red white. They were honestly on like a non-traditional build. It was like very Neo Zeon themed. There were no Kiras. They had Haman and Kubale in there.
Okay. I know exactly who you're talking about. I know exactly who you're talking about. Yep, that's cool. Okay, so that's a pretty interesting and like wide range of like actual decks at the store championship.
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting a lot of blocker stuff, you know, with the new flat militia out, and you know, 3 of the decks I certainly played were that. Obviously, the purple whites that I played against, they were definitely heavy on the. I think every game I at least saw 1 Lifrith or 1 flat militia.
Yeah.
In each of those 3 games.
Silver bullets at all, or?
Yes.
Okay.
And Silver Bullet actually came up and was quite an annoying card to get over. I can kind of explain it a bit more when I get into it, but I wanted to take something that was kind of tried and true.
Sure.
To be honest, I only had 3 new cards from GDO4 in the deck. It was 2 Zeongs and then 1 of the Jobero. I've now since taken it out. I don't really know if it's all that, but you know, it was the first weekend that I think the set was legal.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to try something new,
Heck
but something that was still reliable.
Okay, still old reliable, something a little bit new, not too new, but some new stuff in there.
Exactly.
So out of the 6 rounds, what would you say like the most difficult matchup was, and what was your, I guess, strategy to kind of overcome that matchup?
Right. I think the most difficult matchups was probably like the wing matchup.
I was gonna say I could probably see wing probably being the difficult
just
matchup.
Because like they have even more blockers now, and it's still extra scary with the wing 0 coming down. Like I can certainly do my Zeong play, but those tokens are so small.
Right, they just easily blow up.
They blow up. The actual hardest matchup though I think I faced was blue-purple. It is
just the rush, right?
Yep. It's another tough one that I have to try and like compete in, you know, trying to stay on tempo with them. But surprisingly, you know, again with like the Zeong, like it's supposed to be the little twist there. That's supposed to give me a new edge in this format. I mean, both the Zeong head and the 2 hands, they're just 1 AP, 1 HP tokens. They can be pinged off by Mikazuki, Adapt, anything. And so it was.
And they
tough.
always have it. They always have Adapt Mikazuki.
Exactly. They always
level
have
4, they always have it.
And so like the 2 closest games I ended up having were the like mirror, another blue-green, and the blue-purple. The red-white, I actually steamrolled that guy. That was like less than 10 minutes of a game.
Okay.
The first purple-white I went against, I actually feel bad for that guy. He had to like link the sword strike, the 4-2, twice with Shin to run into a weenie.
Jeez.
Yeah, I felt bad for that. That was bad. I felt a little evil for that. But the other purple-white, that was like a long game. He actually ended up playing the silver bullet. And the wing one, that one did not go too long, but I did have to obviously play through that initial wave of blockers,
Gotcha.
but then he kind of petered out, didn't have, enough stuff in like the mid game to really solidify and stabilize.
Okay.
He was able to slow me down a bit, but not fully stabilize.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. So, with all to the side, let's go ahead and just jump in.
Yeah. So before I jump into this too much, I mean, obviously, like I said, this is a standard, only 3 new cards.
Yeah.
And I just want to let people know that, like, while you may see this list, there's a lot of stuff that you can change. You can really fiddle around with a lot of stuff. So I'll mention stuff as like core and key. And those things are just like really strong considerations to keep in mind. There's so many ways that this deck really can be run. And so tailor it to the way that you like playing, and I'll explain the reason why I played the cards I did, and my sort of style, and why I think it's good. But just know that there's a lot of experimentation, a little nudging you can do around the edges.
Sure.
So what I consider the most key cards that made me want to stick with blue-green over something like blue-purple or other forms of aggro. Yeah, so we got the 4 gun tanks and the 4 Zaku 2s. I think these are the best level 2 1-drops that you can be playing right now. Obviously, Zaku 2s cracking those EX spaces as early as possible. And gun tanks, man, when you kill off a unit with this, the tempo swing is insane.
Right.
And he also just doubles as like essentially a budget weenie. If you just need bodies on the board to close out game, if you know your opponent, is on few resources and you just need bodies to close out the game, it is so essential to just have extra 1-drops to just close out your curve, close out, because that's what we're playing. We're playing aggro. We're not trying to play here for a long time. We're trying to swarm and do some good stuff. Beyond that, I mean, we have some pretty standard stuff. We have the 4 Zaku 1s. I'm still Zaku 2s, I mean, but they're the 2-2s, 4 GMs. And this rounds it out for the level 2 1-drops. You can obviously play a little bit more. I think this is like the sweet spot.
Right.
You have your special ones that you want to see, but then as well, you have your more standard, just 2-2 bodies.
Pretty self-explanatory, yeah.
Yeah.
2-2s, easy to get out pretty early on. You have 16 of them, so it's like a third of the deck, basically.
Exactly. And like always with these sorts of aggro decks, especially blue-green over blue-purple, you want to be going first. You want to, like, optimal play is a Zaku 2 with a weenie.
Right.
And so you want to be mulliganing, trying to find at least one weenie, one early gameplay.
Yep.
Hopefully you draw into your other one. And so this is like the aggro core. Your little guys that you can swarm out and apply your pressure with immediately. Another reason why I play green, why I like the Zeong package with Char and stuff, is the 4 Rickdoms.
With the breach, right?
With the breach. The breach is so essential. Funny enough, it came up in the blue-green mirror that I played.
Yeah.
I know some people are really hype on the new Abawaku base.
Yeah.
And that is a really strong base. It really came up in that he had a Zeong that he had attacked with. And so to actually start swinging with my weenies and little guys, I had to, clear his Zeong, and then the Zeong pops out another rested Zeong unit, which keeps the base active. And I circumvented all of that because I had already put some damage on it the turn before, 3 damage, and then I killed something with the Rickdom. It didn't matter that he had rested Zeong units because the breach goes through and it actually does the damage, because Abawaku only prevents battle damage. It doesn't prevent these effect damage. So breach is still a killer keyword. This card is crazy, and so you got to rely on that. And along with that, another kind of key staple is the Char Zaku 2.
Yep.
Helps you filter out, search stuff. Char Link, importantly.
I honestly think that's arguably, other than Zeong, is like the scariest card in this deck.
Oh yeah. He replaces himself. He keeps you, with card advantage. You can go even on a lot of stuff. Some opponents will even try to be weird about trying not to kill him off so that you're not searching, so that they kind of
so he just sits there.
So sometimes he just sits there. Importantly, he has 3 attack. Rickdom has 3 attack. Those are clearing your EX spaces. So, a lot of the times whenever you're going into these aggro matchups, or sometimes even into the blockers, you will put out your weenies, but they won't be able to clear that EX space. So you do want reliable level 3, 2-cost guys that are coming out the next turn that are then going to be threatening that EX space, so that, one Lefrith, it can stand there, but it's not going to be able to block, multiple attacks from like a Zaku 2 and a Char Zaku 2. Like that EX space is going to get cleared.
Yeah.
And you really want to start putting that pressure on early. So 3 attack is the real threshold. I did play 2 Rizels originally. I've since taken them out. It's obviously a strong card. The main reason I kept it in was to try out Jawborough. It's an Earth Federation card. It can synergize with this, you know, tap 1 Earth Fed, tap a level 3 or lower of your opponent's. 4 attack is really nice. It clears these Lifrits, it clears the flats. It trades up really nicely. The problem though is that what I realized, and I guess I'll get into it after I get into the next card, another kind of key card for Anxia.
Yep.
The way you're really getting a lot of value and you're kind of securing your wins is by getting value out of your gun tanks and your Anxias. It, like I mentioned earlier, it's such a brutal play to do on your opponent to clear out one of their units while developing a unit of your own. The tempo swing is absolutely insane, and you want to maximize on those moments. Kind of my own theory, you know, you don't have to buy into it, but you know, 3 attack guys, including Anxia himself, they bait your opponent into blocking. They will block, and then they're at 1 HP, and all you need is 1 gun tank, 1 Anxia, and you're clearing that blocker, and you're developing, forcing your opponent to turn their blocker sideways so that you can clear them on your terms. You don't want them, like, you know, if you have a couple weenies, you swing in with one.
Into it, right?
You don't want them clearing their blockers on their terms. Like, obviously, in all these card games, you want to keep things on your terms. That goes 10 times as much with an aggro deck like this.
Yeah.
You want to control the pace of the game, and there's no other better way of controlling the pace of the game than, you know, essentially forcing your opponent's hand to block certain things and to try and manipulate their behavior in all these little ways. So I've really found that 3 AP is like that sweet spot that I really like to center in on. Continuing with that, again, another essential, we got 4 of the Gundam.
Yep,
Key centerpiece card. This card's insane. Again, like I'm mentioning, you know, with the 3 AP, it can turn your weenies, you know, when it's paired with Amuro or even Char, turns those guys into 3 AP. He turns into 6 AP with both Amuro and Char, clearing every base under the sun.
The AP buff is also just nice and
exactly.
huge.
The AP buff is so nice.
Grandpa's grandpa.
Grandpa's grandpa. Not too much, honestly, to say about this.
Right.
After that,
the new man.
Rounding out the units. The new man, 2 Zeong. I was originally on 3 of this, but you really don't want to brick on this deck, especially because, you know, level 6, 5 cost,
that's your like high end.
Exactly, it's your high end. And while it's, you know, a kind of mid-rangey card, we're still fundamentally an aggro deck. We have this little mid-range twist that GDO4 has given us, and we want to lean into it because this card is nutty insane whenever you link it with Char. And importantly, what it does is it gives us another Char link, which this deck, you know, even though it runs a lot, it kind of desperately needs. Amuro doesn't really need to be linked. Obviously, the Amuro link on Grandpa is insane, but Char is kind of like budget Amuro a lot of the times. He's giving, you know, something to attack. He's like a 2-1 pilot, but he only links with the Zaku 2, the Zeong, and, you know, because I wanted more Char links, I actually ended up putting, you know, swapping out some of the cards and putting in 2 of the Char Zaku 2, level 3 2 cost, because I wanted to run 8 links with Char, because you want to be able to use Char for his high maneuver. You want to link him. That high maneuver keyword is so insane around cracking bases, because once you've cracked the base and your opponent's shield area is bare and it's vulnerable, then you can really start swinging your weenies and your little ones, and wow, my 1-2 attack gun tank, it's now taking an entire shield. It's taking an entire life. That 1 AP is now no longer, you know, just doing 1/5 of the damage to a base. It's now doing, you know, 1/5 or 1/6 of, you know, my opponent's health. Going to the pilots, again, nothing crazy. We got 4 Chars and 4 Amuros.
Okay, pretty self-explanatory, right?
They're they're pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, Amuro is the GOAT right now. Can't get much better than him.
We're in GDO4, and he's still arguably the best pilot in the game.
Yeah, and both Char and him, like I mentioned earlier, what they importantly do is they're aggressive pilots. They give you 2 attack. Char is obviously not as good because he only gives that 1 attack on your turn.
Yeah.
So your guys will, like, you know, lose that extra attack on the opponent's turn, which can come up and be relevant because then they can, you know, be traded into without your opponent's units die.
Yeah, he's the mom we have Amuro at home card.
Exactly. You know, he lets you get around the blockers, you know. What is nice though is that you can, like be extra aggressive with this deck more than you can with like Blurple, where Char's level 3. And you know, now with the 2 Charizard 2 and the other Charizard 2, you can reliably, because you want to be going first, you want to be tapping out on level 3, you can link, clear that 5 HP base if they, you know, somehow saw a Minerva or something else like that. Or even not even the Minerva, you know, you have those 6 HP bases, the Mining Asteroid Field or the whatever the green one is. Get 5 damage into that, and then, you know, the 2 weenies that you played out earlier, well, now it's clearing it, and now you're doing at least 1 damage. Otherwise, you know, you would have just sent 2 weenies into it, deal 4 damage to it, base is still there.
Right.
Char really does help you very early on clear bases and kind of help you turn the corner in those games where, you know, you play out your 2 weenies and then they have a base very early on, and you're kind of like, you know, upset that, you know, your game plan's getting slowed down. Char kind of turns that around, unlike any other pilot, because he's level 3, because he can have that sort of, I guess, fraud factor to it. And, you know, in this game where luck is, you know, very much a part of the game, you want to try and lean into your fraud potential. You don't want to be playing what I would consider like too honest of a game plan. You want to be playing things like Amuro Gundam, which is ultimate maximum fraud. You want these huge swingy moments to be possible. If you play too honest of a strategy, I think you limit your potential in coming back in unfavorable positions, or just absolutely taking an unwinnable matchup to a winnable matchup. Like I said, I played against 3 decks, which were 4 decks actually, that were heavy on blockers. I really need to go under those decks, and so you need to be able to try and force these tougher matchups to have potential to go underneath and essentially steal a victory for yourself. Then at the end, got 2 Corsica base. I used to have, like I said before, I had the Jaburo, and I also used to have white base. These are perfectly fine bases. You can certainly include these in your decks. Especially white base. I kind of kept this in for a while, actually. I in a different list, I had taken out the Jaburo, but I left the white base in. I really do like white base. But the problem is that
you never not have units on board. Like, I mean, you always have units on board, I feel like.
Yeah. And nothing is as nice as Corsica, where you're developing, you know, card advantage. You're getting that card out of life. You're going even in card advantage whenever you're playing it, as though you're developing a body. You don't lose tempo by playing it. It's cheaper than trying to do that with white base. White base is essentially 4 mana to do what Corsica does, except for it doesn't even create a 4 attack guy. The other thing with white base that I kept seeing come up, like if I'm like doing my aggro plan, I have at least 1 or 2 guys out. So I'm summoning like a 1/1 most of the time, and if I'm lucky, then I'm summoning a 2/2. And the times in which I'm summoning a 3/3, I'm behind. I have 0 guys on field. That's how I'm summoning the 3. I'm summoning. Granted, it can very much swing in your favor, where your opponent, you know, uses all their resources on their turn to clear your board, and then boom, you have your white base. You develop a 3/3, and then you curve out and you summon more guys. So white base is definitely still a very good base, very much consider it, but I'm not really trying to rely too much on bases. Again, or I guess something else is that I don't really want to rely on burst cards, which bases are. And that's like the best place you want to see white base. You want to see it in your life. You don't want to actually play it. Because Corsica, you want to see this in your hand because you want to get those tokens. But white base, its best case scenario is that it gets bursted out of life. But if I'm doing my game plan right, if I'm aggroing you down, I want my EX base up at the end of this game. I want it to be the case that you never had a chance to realistically threaten my life because you had to just constantly be on defense. So Corsica base really serves that purpose. And last 2 cards, 2 Show of Resolves.
Hell yeah.
I think, pretty
good card.
Pretty good card. I actually agree with Keat. I don't know if y'all saw the previous video. Definitely go check it out. He's a great player. Love his red-white Zeong deck. But he actually says something there that's very apt and true, which is, I think Show of Resolve is an aggro card. I think this is best in your aggro decks, where perhaps you're looking at a heavier hand and you just need more tempo. this can refill your hand. Then you can draw into like a 1-drop or something else, or a pilot. The amount of games where, you know, you hold on to this, and then once you finally run out of gas, well, it's like, I don't care that I played out all my stuff and now I'm left with like 1 or 2 cards in hand. If one of them is Show of Resolve, well, then I'm filling that back up and I'm
refilling the board.
It going.
Yep, keep going.
Obviously, you don't want to be playing this whenever you have other things to be playing. It's always going to be, you want this to kind of like come down to like the last card in your hand, and then you play it. You always want to be playing almost anything else before it, but having it is super nice. And again, like I said, you don't want to rely on burst. So the fact that this doesn't burst doesn't really matter, because when you're getting value out of it, it's not, you know, coming out of burst like other command cards might.
Right.
So kind of like I mentioned earlier with some of the changes that I did, put the 2 Charizard TAUXINS, and I actually put 2 of the Gun EZ. This is a really cool card, and I'm really happy that I put it in the list now. People are kind of picking up on it.
Right, and so just to clarify, you took out the 2 Rozels for the 2 Gun EZs, and then the 2 bases for the 2 Charizard 2s?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. And just a quick little ruling for y'all to know is that the Gun EZ works the same as like Adapt and Mikazuki. If your opponent doesn't have an applicable target,
it can't rest itself.
It won't rest itself, which is actually pretty nice if you want to actually use it as like another tempo, and like, you know, keeping the level 3 2 costs with
pretty
this list.
good. 2/3 is super good too.
Yep, it can help you really handle those other aggro matchups.
Yeah.
Green blue. Just again, be careful with like trading into stuff and leaving your guys at like 1 HP. Obviously, it's valuable, but obviously both Blurple and green blue, like I am here, we're running on, you know, we're running these gun tanks and anxias.
Yeah.
I really do think that these cards are so central to winning. Like the games that I'm winning is usually because I'm seeing one of these.
Yeah.
And you know, frauding out, like I'm saying, you know.
Yeah.
Tempoing out while clearing their board. So insane. And I guess it kind of comes back to what I had mentioned earlier with like Silver Bullet. That's actually a card that surprisingly, you know, it has that 4 health, and so whenever I'm attacking with 3 HP, with 3 AP I mean, they'll block with it. It'll be at 1 HP left. But I actually can't clear that with a gun tank or an auction. That thing is actually, yes, it's actually super annoying to deal with. And so, and I think people are kind of catching up on that, how versatile Silver Bullet is. Not to make this a Silver Bullet video, but just realize that that is a bit of a weakness of, you know, these aggressive decks where it doesn't have to fear the Mikazuki pings. It doesn't have to fear these Anxia gun tank pings.
It doesn't have to fear red-white either.
It doesn't have to fear red decks.
Like, yeah, it's just chilling.
It's chilling. But yeah, if you want to really control the tempo of your games and you want to rely on your fundamentals and put pressure on your opponent, make them kind of start, you know, potentially making mistakes where where these mistakes are going to be very costly to them. Then play aggro, play blue-green, and yeah.
And well, so that all definitely like makes like a lot of sense. So I greatly appreciate it. And so real fast, I feel like I know the answer to this, but what's like your most ideal hand? Is it just all units, or like is there like a command or a pilot in there? Like what's your like the best hand that you can get for this deck?
For this deck, this will just curve out super insane. You'll have your 2 weenies for turn 2. You know, hopefully you'll draw into another 1-drop whenever you drop your Rick Dom, but Rick Dom is, you know, such a crazy card. And then you follow that up with your Gundam Amuro.
Yep.
You're feeling good. You're breaking your EX, you're breaking their EX spaces, you're applying that pressure, you're making them react, you're trade into your units.
Yep.
You're causing a lot of pain, causing a lot of damage.
Heck yeah, man. Well, Alex, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much, and congrats on the invite to Nats, because if you guys don't know, winning a store championship is basically the same level as a regional, so he did get prizing. He didn't get the GQX, whatever that card's called.
Oh, no.
You didn't get that winner card, but you did get the Machu?
Oh, yeah, I actually do have that.
You got the Machu? Yeah, we'll have to check that out. But he did get his invite to Nats, so that's going to be super cool. So again, congratulations. And those of you guys that were requesting the deck, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much again. And to close out the video, do you have any shout outs or anything that you want to do at all?
Shout out to my homies, Austin and Keith.
Heck yeah, man.
Good players.
Heck yeah. And Dragons HQ for letting us film at their shop and everything. Always greatly appreciate it. We're always out here every Tuesday, so make sure you guys come swing by. But again, thank you so much, Alex, and congratulations, brother.
Of course.
Thank you, guys.